This is gonna be a fun one. Today we are going to be talking about my very, very unpopular rabbit opinions. The first one we're going to go over is outdoor housing versus indoor housing for rabbits. And this is the biggest thing on my channel that I get hate for, is that my rabbit lives outside. For the warm months of the year, she is out in a very large enclosure. I think it's 8 by 4 feet. For the colder months of the year, since we do have some wintry, chilly months where I live, she is in our garage, which is obviously more insulated, and so it's able to hold heat a little bit better. It is not a heated garage, but I provide extra heat for her, which we will go into in a minute. But I think that outdoor and indoor housing both can be done properly and both can be done incorrectly. Most people think that just because a rabbit lives in somebody's house that they have an amazing life, and then they assume that just because your rabbit's outside that you neglect it, you take horrible care, you know nothing about rabbits, and your rabbit's gonna die within a year. Neither of those are true, because you can have a rabbit indoors and take horrible care of it. You can shove it in a tiny cage and forget about it. A lot of people get rabbits for their kids and they'll keep it inside for their kids and it gets ignored. And yes, there are a lot of rabbits that are housed outdoors that do get neglected, but honestly, if a rabbit is neglected, it's really not because of the fact that it's inside or outside. If somebody cares about the rabbit a lot and wants to spend time with them, they will spend time with them regardless of where the rabbit is housed. So I think that indoor housing can be great if it works for you and your family. However, some families don't have the space inside and they just have a much better setup that they can give their rabbit outdoors versus indoors. Two, some people are allergic to rabbits. Some people are allergic to the hay. There are a lot of circumstances where it just works better to house your rabbit outside than it does inside. And there's not anything wrong with that as long as you are taking the steps to make sure your rabbit is protected from predators and the weather, and you're giving it plenty of attention. Your rabbit will be completely fine outside. This brings us to our next topic, which is heat lamps. I use a heat lamp for my bunny during the winter when she's in our garage. I also use it sometimes outside if we have like one random chillier night when she's outside. And a lot of people have concerns that like these could start a fire, and I guess in certain situations they probably could, but I have never had anything close to a problem with our heat lamps starting a fire, and I have used them for years. The heat lamps really don't get that hot. Yes, they are producing heat and creating a nice warm area, but they're not scorching hot. Like if you touch the metal, it's probably not going to burn you. And I just don't think it gets anywhere near hot enough to make any wood or blankets or hay hot enough to the point where they would literally start on fire. I've never seen that happen before. Don't come for me if that does happen for you. I'm just saying in my experience, I've never had that happen. I will say if you're going to use a heat lamp, it's a good idea to keep it somewhat out of your rabbit's reach so that they don't hurt themselves on it. Make sure the cord is always completely out of their reach and they cannot get to that, because obviously you don't want them chewing on an electrical cord. But heat lamps are really great for providing a nice warmer area for your bunny when it's colder, and I've never had a problem with them. Now during the summer, I use a fan, and this is another very controversial topic. Some people think that a constant like wind on your bunny that isn't like moving around, so like it's blowing in one straight area, versus a fan that like rotates, is bad for bunnies. And I will say, like, don't use a fan at a super high setting. Like that I could totally understand would be like probably not the greatest for your bunny, but I always use the fan on the lowest notch, so it's just a really light breeze. And Brenny loves to lay in front of her fan. It cools her off because it's cooling the area that she's in. I don't know that it's necessarily cooling off her body, because rabbits don't like cool off like humans do. They release heat through their ears. If you are cooling that general area where they're in, then it's gonna in turn cool them off because they're not in as warm of a space. Air circulation keeps the air cooler, which is why I don't keep Brenny in our garage during the summer, because there's no air circulation in there, so it gets way hotter in our garage than it does outside where there's a nice breeze. If you are gonna use a fan, they always have a space they can go to get away from the fan if they don't want to be in it. And if you notice your bunny's just not liking it, you can take it away. But if you do notice that your bunny likes it, I know my bunny likes it, she loves to sleep in front of it when it's a hot day, then I think they're really useful, and again, I've never had any problems with them. Okay, the last one, spaying, neutering, and breeding. First up, spaying and neutering. I think that if your rabbit is young enough, they are healthy enough, and you go to a rabbit savvy vet that has experience with spaying and neutering rabbits and can confirm that your rabbit is healthy enough to have this procedure done, I think it's fine. I honestly did not know spaying was even a thing until I had Brenny for maybe 2 years or something. And at that point, I didn't really know what the benefits of it were. By the time Brenny was like 4 or something, I kind of wanted to have her spayed, but I was getting a little bit iffy on her age. So Brenny has never been spayed for that reason, and I've never had any problems. She has always been great with litter training. In female rabbits, there are supposedly, I don't know if it's a cancer or something that is expected to happen in them by age 6 or something. I haven't read that much into it. I'm not concerned about that. People are gonna hate me. I'm going to be very honest. I am not concerned about Brenny's health. She is a very happy, healthy rabbit, and I don't believe that she needs a surgery to live a long, happy, healthy life. I think that if I got a bunny again that was a very young age, I probably would spay or neuter them, especially if it's a boy, because I feel like male rabbits tend to be more territorial. Brenny has never been territorial, so I've never had that problem. She has always had great litter habits, and so there's just never been anything I've struggled with. So I feel like I can see both sides of it. I don't necessarily have anything against spaying or neutering, especially like if you're going to bond 2 rabbits, regardless of whether they're male or female. I do think it is best to probably have them spayed and neutered, but Brenny's a single rabbit. She's a girl, she's never had any problems, so she's not spayed, and I don't think it is a necessary surgery for your bunny to live a long, happy, healthy life. But I'm also not against it. And I also kind of wanted to quickly go over breeding, because I feel like that kind of fits into the same category. I realized that like it is really actually important that there are some ethical rabbit breeders out there that are properly breeding their rabbits and taking care of their rabbits and bringing good, healthy bunnies into the world, so that we can continue to have like healthy bunnies coming into the population. Because if you think about it, if we stopped everybody that was purposely breeding their rabbits, inevitably there's going to be rabbits somewhere that either accidentally breed because people were uneducated and thought they had 2 girls when they really had a girl and a boy, or whatever the situation is. Inevitably there are going to be rabbits that continue to breed, and they're probably not going to be the healthiest rabbits because they weren't bred very ethically. So if you keep the ethical breeders, we continue to have healthy bunnies that are being bred, which is really important. But yeah, those are all of my unpopular, controversial opinions for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will hopefully see you very, very soon. I have some very fun videos coming up in the next couple of weeks, and my camera's about to die. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you very soon.